All right, let's talk about some common hitting mistakes and some swing flaws that I see mainly in younger hitters, but everybody occasionally gets into some bad habits at the plate. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each one and sort of how I think that you can personally fix them. So let's start with the head. I'm going to walk over here to the plate. As you can see, the best position for you to be able to pick up spin and recognize pitches and really see the ball all the way to the bat is to have your face pretty much face directly towards the pitcher, okay? Obviously you're not gonna, over exaggerate it or anything like that, but you can also tell if my head is tilted like this or if my face is pointing towards the first base dugout and I'm only using one eye to see the ball, then obviously that's kind of diminishing my chances of success at the plate. And I see so many youth hitters out there do that. They get in the box and they look at the pitcher and their head is cocked or tilted like this, or they're only using one eye to really see the ball. So consciously, here's how you fix it. Consciously, when you get in the box, make sure that you turn your head towards the pitcher. It doesn't have to be over exaggerated, but turn your head towards the pitcher. Make sure you're not stiff as a board. Make sure your head is nice and relaxed, but turn your head towards the pitcher, almost like your chin is on your front shoulder, and then just make sure your head is straight instead of tilted or cocked, that type of thing. And that's going to allow you to see pitches better, really pick up spin, recognize what pitch is coming out of the hand, that type of thing. Now let's talk about elbows. I see a lot of the times youth hitters, they hit with sometimes their front elbow up or their back elbow up. The back elbow up is probably much more common, but I think one reason why, let's talk about the front elbow. One reason why the front elbow is up on some hitters is because they're afraid of getting hit. They're afraid of getting hit in the face. So they think that this is kind of like a mechanism of protection. So they'll have that front elbow up like this, and that just causes a whole bunch of other problems. And you'll notice any of these swing flaws, whether it's your head, whether it's something with your elbow, something with your feet, or lunging or casting or rolling over, a lot of these swing problems and flaws that we're talking about, they kind of have the compound effect. So if you start doing one thing, it's going to lead to another. Kind of like if your head is tilted and you can't see the baseball very well, then you might start swinging at bad pitches and you might be out in front and that type of thing. So one thing kind of leads to another. That being said though, good news is if you can really hone in on the proper swing mechanics and get rid of as many bad habits and flaws as possible, then that's only going to help you to have more success at the plate. So we talked about the front elbow up. Pretty simple. The way you fix it, just recognize that your front elbow is up like this and tuck it in. At the plate, my elbow is pretty much in tight towards my chest. Okay, and the back elbow is a little bit different, but as you can see from the side here, my front elbow, it is definitely not flared up at all. It's pretty much down here like this. Now, a lot of the times I also see that back elbow up, and I think it's fine. You see players that have their elbow tucked in, their back elbow tucked in like this, and you see players, with varying degrees of their elbow kind of flaring up in the back. I think the back elbow being up is fine. You see a lot of big league hitters have their elbow pretty much straight back, but you want to avoid having it up like this in an awkward position where it's up. And the reason why I say that is because when your elbow's up, the very first move that you're going to make towards the ball, because this is not a very comfortable position, you're going to drop that elbow. And when you drop that elbow, everything else goes, and that causes you to dip like this. And you're going to be underneath everything, and you're going to be hitting pop-ups and fly balls, which is going to turn into outs. You don't want that. So make sure, it's really a personal preference. Over my career, I've had my back elbow tucked in really close like this. I've also had it pretty much straight up like this, and again, varying degrees in between. So it's personal preference. Just make sure you avoid having it up because that's going to lead to some bad things at the dish. Something else I see is players casting. What that means is just imagine there's a ball that's right over the middle of the plate here. Instead of taking the shortest route to the baseball, which is a straight line, right? The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. So instead of going directly to the baseball, similar to this, you see players with their hands, and it's almost like they throw their knob to the outside of the plate, and everything is extended like this. And I just think that this position right here, that's not connected. So an easy way to fix kind of your casting is just tell yourself, stay connected. This position here does not feel connected. but this here does. So keep everything tight into your body, keep everything connected, because if you were gonna, chop a tree down, I love to use examples like that. If you're gonna chop a tree down, would you do it with your arms way extended like this? Would that be your most powerful position? Absolutely not. You'd have everything tight and compact, because that's where all your power is. Just like, arm wrestling. If you arm wrestle and your elbow's tucked in right here, you have a much better chance of defeating your opponent versus if your arm is way out here like this. You don't have any power out there. So that's why you want everything that you do in hitting, you want to make sure everything stays tight, compact, and I love to use the word connected. Okay, that's the biggest thing with casting. If you stay connected, there's no way that you cast. Okay, and also another thing to get rid of casting, a lot of the times that happens when guys think about throwing the knob to the ball, particularly on an outside pitch, because if you throw the knob to the ball, literally do knob directly to the ball, then you're already casted, everything's extended. So I like to use the term, instead of knob to the ball, knob to the pitcher. That's going to keep you a little bit more in tight, close, connected. So we talked about casting. Let's talk a little bit about lunging. You see those guys sometimes, they get a little bit overexcited at the plate, and their stride, instead of being nice and controlled and landing like they're landing on a sheet of ice, they really just lunge forward. It's almost overstriding, and that causes them to literally do a lunge type motion. I think, one thing is that they're trying to go get the baseball instead of waiting for the ball to come to them. There's a difference between being aggressive and attacking the ball and going out and getting it. You definitely want to attack the baseball and you want to be aggressive in all of your swings, but it's important to wait and attack the ball when it's here, when it's crossing the plate, a little bit out in front of the plate. But you don't want to, make things happen and really go out and get the ball. You're not trying to hit it way out here. You're trying to wait until it's pretty much at the front edge of the plate, and that's where your hitting zone needs to be. That's where you want to make contact. So that's a simple little mindset shift that's really going to help you cure the lunging. Is stop trying to go out and get the baseball. Let it travel. Let it get deep. And you can even work with your batting practice or with soft toss, front toss, that type of thing. You can work on having the ball, try and let it travel as far as you possibly can and almost try and hit the ball, right down the first base line. And you do that for a while and you're going to get that feeling of, okay, if I let the ball travel more than that, it's going to be foul. If I let the ball travel, if I go out and get it just a little bit more, then that's right up the middle. And you'll kind of gauge it, you'll get that feeling. But that's kind of how you cure lunging. That, and also another thing that I like to think about is, if you're lunging or if you're overstriding or if you're getting out on your front side like this, something that I like to think about is keep your head between your feet. Because if you keep your head between your feet in your swing, then there's absolutely no way that you can overstride or lunge, because it's going to keep you balanced. It's going to keep you nice and compact in a good hitting position. So remember that, head between your feet. Whenever I'm struggling, whenever I feel off balance or out of whack, that's one of the first mental corrections I make, is keeping my head between my feet. Okay, another swing flaw, a common swing flaw, is rolling over. And this happens when, you're just hitting ground balls, weak ground balls to third base or shortstop for a right-handed hitter. And what really causes that is you get to the contact point, maybe everything's good, you're on time, on plane, but you get kind of flippy like this with your hands. See what I mean? You get to the contact point, and instead of, driving through the baseball, and they like to, call this right here the power V position. As you can see, my arms make somewhat of a V. Instead of getting to this power V position with good extension, you see some players get to contact and then just get really flippy with their wrists. So an easy way to fix this, guys, is act like you're having a pizza that you're about to throw into the oven. So act like you have it on your hand, your top hand, okay, if you're a right-handed hitter, your right hand, act like you're gonna throw that pizza right into the oven when you get to contact. So what that's gonna look like, you get to contact here, and I'm gonna throw that pizza. boom, and that's automatically gonna get you into that power V position, and I promise you that alone is gonna help eliminate rolling over. Also, try and hit the inside part of the baseball. Make sure that, if you're rolling over, if this is the baseball here, a lot of times, guys will get around the baseball and hit the outside part of the ball. You wanna make sure that you stay inside the ball, hit the inside part of the baseball. It's really gonna help you create backspin, hit the ball hard, and hit it with authority, hit it with some power. So these are really some common swing flaws. The list goes on and on and on. There's also stepping in the bucket, which means guys with their feet, instead of stepping directly towards the pitcher when they stride, they kind of step in the bucket like this, and obviously that's gonna really tie you up, and you have no chance of hitting that outside pitch. Really the only pitch you're gonna hit well maybe is that inside pitch. So just focus on striding directly towards the pitcher. You can even put a bat behind your feet like this, and just make sure that you're not stepping over the bat, you're stepping directly forward. That might help you with that. The last one that I wanted to touch on is pulling your head out. You hear a lot of coaches, when you swing and miss and you look down the third base line, you hear a lot of coaches say, you just pulled your head out, or you're pulling your head. Keep your head down, watch the ball, nose on the ball, that type of thing. Or you'll ask one of your teammates, hey man, what does it look like I'm doing? And they'll say, oh, you're good, man, you're just pulling your head. And I know, to me, that's a very frustrating feeling as a hitter, because obviously when you're at the plate, you're not consciously thinking about, pulling your head. I mean, it's something else causes that, and it's tough when people say, you're all right, you're just pulling your head, just watch the ball, because in your mind, you are trying to watch the ball, and you just can't figure out what's going on. So what I found to be really the root cause of pulling your head out is kind of two things. First of all, number one, a long swing is going to cause you to pull your head out. And this is another reason why one mechanical flaw can kind of lead to another. But what do I mean by a long swing? You see those guys who have great big loads and great big strides, but the biggest thing that I think automatically makes a coach think, oh, that kid's got a long swing, is, again, we talked about being connected. And I think being disconnected, kind of casting, getting out away from your body, that's definitely going to look like a long swing. When you do that, you kind of are in a time crunch, because a fastball's coming and you have a long swing, it's going to take you longer to get the barrel to the ball. So if that takes you longer, eventually something's going to have to give. And a lot of the times, in order to even hit the ball, you're going to have to start pulling your head and pulling your shoulder in order to make contact with that ball. So having a long swing is going to lead to pulling your head out. So try and shorten your swing. Just be quick to the ball, straight line from point A to point B. But remember, it's all about having a short, quick, efficient swing. It's about staying connected, staying within yourself, and being in powerful positions. So stay connected. That's really going to help you. Another reason why some players pull their head is it's a mentality. It's an approach of, I want to hit a bomb, I want to hit home runs. Everybody wants to hit home runs, right? But tell me, what swing do you think would cause more hitters to pull off the ball? If you tell them it's a hit and run situation, and for a right-handed hitter, you're going to hit the ball to second base, would that cause guys to pull their head? Or if you told them, hey, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, bases juiced, hit a home run here? Probably hitting a home run, because guys just try and get too big, too out of themselves. You don't hit home runs when you think about it, but when guys do start to, I'm going to put one out here, I'm going to hit this ball hard, that's when they try and muscle up and they just get way too big and out of themselves, and their head pulls off. So it's a mentality approach. Instead of hitting home runs, because your home runs are going to come, you're going to get bigger and stronger, you're going to start hitting home runs eventually. But instead of thinking about that at the plate, think about hitting the ball hard, right back up the middle, and hit the ball where it's pitched. There's nothing wrong with pulling the ball. You don't have to take everything to the opposite field. If a pitch is in, then turn on it and pull the ball, but stay within yourself. Stop trying to hit home runs. If the ball's right over the middle of the plate, hit it right back up the box, hit it right back up the middle. If it's away, then stay on it, let the ball travel a little bit deeper, and hit it to the opposite field gap. But hit the ball where it's pitched. Don't try and do too much. Don't get too out of yourself, and that's really going to help you with keeping your head in and watching the balls. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, what I want you to do is leave me a thumbs up below and get in the comments section. Let me know what you want me to make future videos about. We're coming out with new videos every single week, so it's great to hear from you guys. let me know what you want to see next, all right? And if you're not already, like I mentioned, subscribe. And I actually have a free bat speed workout for you, okay? All you have to do is click on the very first link in the description below this video. It's gonna work on your mobile phone, your tablet, your iPad, your computer, whatever, but click on that very first link in the description, okay? ultimatebaseballtraining.com, and go grab my free bat speed workout. It's a step-by-step workout. It's guaranteed to take your bat speed to that next level, okay? So again, first link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can click here to subscribe right now, and I will see you next time.